Hello everyone, welcome back. This is the fifth video of the series, and if you want to watch the previous videos, I will provide the link to the playlist in the description. You can watch them. And in this video, we'll be focusing on speaking. Some tips. First one is your accent. Your accent does not matter for your scores, for your IELTS scores. But that doesn't mean you can have an extremely thick accent. As an Indian who's not a native speaker of English, you will definitely have some influence of your mother tongue on your English speaking. Therefore, it is understandable, and you're not expected to sound like British or Irish guy when you're speaking English. So don't worry too much about the accent. That's totally fine. What actually matters is the pronunciation and the grammar. So how are you pronouncing the words, and how grammatically accurate are you structuring your sentences when you speak? That's more important. And the flow of speech. When you're speaking, don't use a lot of filler words like and So some people take a lot of pauses and fill them up with a lot of filler words. Don't do that. Avoid taking unnecessary pauses in between. The response timing. When a question was asked, take your time, 10 seconds or something, to gather your thoughts and then start answering. Don't rush to answer immediately when the question is asked. And if you do that, you will run out of thoughts and ideas in your brain, and then in order to fill those gaps you will use a lot of filler words. That becomes a problem. So your response timing is important. Take enough time so that you will figure out how to form your answers and you have idea on how to answer it. And don't fake it. What I mean by that is don't come up with fake answers, and if you do that you will be in trouble because you will have trouble answering the follow-up questions. For example, when the examiner asked, "What are your hobbies?" and just to sound good, you said, "Reading books." The follow-up question will be, "Who's your favorite author?" or "Describe the recent book that you read." Now you're in trouble just because you gave a fake answer, which doesn't give you any extra points. If you are honest there, say if you are actually playing cricket or actually watching cricket in your free time, and you said the same, "In your free time I watch cricket." Now you are equipped with answers for the following questions. If the following question is, "What is your favorite team?" or "Who is your favorite player?" you have your answers ready. And the last point, don't stop. Meaning, if the examiner asks you a question, something like, "Describe your daily routine," don't just answer it in 2 or 3 sentences, or don't make it extremely brief, because you have enough time there and the examiner is expecting you to answer it thoroughly. So start off answering it in detail so that you don't have that awkward silence, and when the examiner wants you to stop, he or she will tell you to stop and ask the following questions. So don't make your answers very short and don't stop. Continue until the examiner wants you to stop. This is an important topic, that's predicting the speaking questions. An important point is all the follow-up questions that are asked based on the answers that you have given for the previous question. Just like an example that I mentioned earlier, when the examiner asked, "What do you do in your free time?" and you said, "I love to watch movies." And 90% of the cases, the following question will be, "What genre of the movies do you like to enjoy?" Like, what is your most favorite genre? Or just describe about a movie that you watched recently. That are the most probable questions that you will encounter after your answer. Or at least you will have some question around movies if you say, "I love to watch movies." That's what you expect. So you can always predict what kind of questions you will be encountering in your speaking test. Or at least you know what topics will be asked in your speaking test. Now I will explain how to predict those questions. You need to develop a mind map for the questions. Usually in the speaking test, you always start with introduction, right? Probably that's the first question that any examiner will ask you. Just tell me a little bit about yourself. Now, perhaps you start with your education, some work experience, and your hobbies. And when you explain about your hobbies, you say, "I like to read, I like to watch movies, I do sing." The follow-up questions will be based on those topics. So you need to figure out and be ready with the follow-up answers. And when you say reading, you should have the answers ready. Who's your favorite author? What is your favorite book? And why is the book favorite? And explain the summary of the book in 2 minutes. Or if you say, "I like to watch movies," again, which genre of movies are your favorite? Who is your favorite actor? Why he is the favorite? So the follow-up questions are always based on the answers that you provide. Or let's say you mentioned about your work experience and what are you currently doing. Then the obvious follow-up questions are, how is your work day look like? What's your daily routine? When do you start your work? When do you finish your work? What is the best part of your work? What are the things that you don't like in your work? Tell me about your team. So those are the follow-up questions. When you prepare this chart and you write down answers for all the follow-up questions that you might encounter, you are very well prepared for the speaking test, because you will not run out of thoughts or you will not run out of the ideas to answer the follow-up questions. And of course, there will be some out of the box questions for sure, at least one or two, that's unpredictable. That is fine. Uh, Assume even you answered them extremely badly, but you manage to answer all the other questions well, then you are in good space. You will score 7 or 7.5 or something. So you need to focus on the things that are manageable, which are in your control. Now, suppose the examiner asks you some question that's out of the blue and which is completely unpredictable, and you're not expecting such a question, and now you're completely blank. In those situations, take a pause. You will be provided with water. Okay, ask for a small break or something and drink some water. And while you're doing so, try to gather some thoughts and as and when you're done with drinking that water, start answering. So drinking the water will buy you some time to gather your thoughts. And one more important point, this is done. Now last point, you answered first 2 or 3 questions very well. Now you're feeling extremely confident, and now came your fourth question, which is completely unexpected, and you're blank. Okay, and you answered it somehow and you felt it was extremely bad answer. But don't let that fourth answer affect your following follow-up questions. Don't keep thinking about it. Just forget about it, and again start answering the fifth, sixth, and so on the questions confidently. If you let that fourth question impact you, your entire speaking test is gone. That impact will affect your answers. So don't worry too much when you gave a bad answer. 1 or 2 bad answers doesn't really impact your entire speaking test. As in when your overall speaking test is good, 1 or 2 bad answers doesn't really matter. So these are all the important points that are useful in terms of speaking. In the next video, I will provide the details about the resources that you have to use and best strategy that you can apply to score well. Thank you.